Alright, Shalom, this is the brother Atazawamia from GMS, South Carolina camp. I want to first and foremost give all praises to Yahweh Shema Shai. Double honors to those a great millstone taught me this truth. Shalom to the Akim out there pushing the truth and sincerity. Alright, this lesson was inspired, alright, by this conversation. Alright, I'm going to use that word conversation. That I'm having back and forth with this guy named Waha Allah Naphtali. Alright? Okay. And his stance, he brings some decent information, alright, about the what this shit called? About how Esau enslaved the people over there in Australia and made them work on sugar cane and stuff, sugar fields or whatever. Alright, but I will do more research on that. Alright, so he won't think I'm being biased. But okay, this video is more about the question I asked him, because he didn't come on the page, right, trying to deal. He came on the page trying to spark war. Now, going through conversations with this guy, his belief, alright, is fueled off of a combination of other Israelites groups' doctrines and then his own reasoning. Okay, alright, because in one of these things he mentioned, which I'm going to read it before we get into the topic, because I asked him really 4 specific questions. I asked him, what does the word genotype mean? What does the word phenotype mean? Who was Johann F. Blumenbach? And what was the other thing? Oh, what does the word Mongoloid mean? Okay. Alright, now this word Mongoloid, alright, goes back to anthropology term, which means resembling Mongoloid, okay, or Mongol. Alright, because he keeps calling me, and he stated, alright, that Native Americans and the Latinos, so-called Latinos of North, Central, and South America in the Caribbean Isles, were in fact not Israelites but Japhites, alright, that descended from the Mongoloids. Okay, because which the word Mongoloid means resembling Mongol, which is going into the phenotype. So I'm in this lesson, after I read these few comments that he made, I'm going to go in about the term genotype, the term phenotype, alright, and which one applies to the scriptures, and also who was Johann F. Blumenbach, alright, and where all this utter confusion of classifying people into races, okay, by their outer appearance or phenotype. Okay, so first let's read some of these comments, alright, before we get into the scriptures and break down these words. Okay, alright. Okay. Alright. Now he stated that he's responding to the video I did about the South Sea Islander people are the seed of Japheth, talking about the natives of those lands, because in fact they are. Alright. But I said it in the videos, but you have Negroes, Latinos, and Native American men that went into those islands and dealt with those women, alright, either by being in this man's military, alright, talking about the so-called white man's military, because they get stationed all around the world. Okay, that's a fact. Or they went to live there, alright, or like some they play sports or whatnot, and they go into these different areas where the sports is either popular or other teams is there, and they deal with those women in those regions. So you got Israelites in those areas of the South Sea Islands, whose origins go back to so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American descent on their father's side, which we're going to prove that's the genotype. But to say that those people of the native islands of the South Sea Islands are Israelites, you got to prove some facts that they were doing things that the Israelites was doing, all right, prior to the influence of the so-called white man's so-called Christianity, all right, which the Native Americans and the Latinos were doing things similar, or doing the things that an Israelite would do, because they were Israelites before the white man brought in his so-called Christianity. And that's why it said, countless accounts say they didn't reject Christianity because it was similar to the things that they already did. Why? Because the Bible is their book. Alright? You can't get around that. Alright? But this is what it says. It says, because he watched a whole bunch of groups. He said, when I watched GOCC, which is the Gathering of Christ Church, which teaches that the tribe of Naphtali is those people that's of the South Sea Islands, mainly they say Hawaiians and Samoans, okay, those people. And then they also teach that the tribe of Reuben is both Seminole Indians and Aborigines of Australia, which they going off on the Aborigines of Australia, okay. The Seminole Indians are the tribe of Reuben, okay, not the Aborigines of Australia. So he says, when I watched GOCC, alright, which I proved in the last video, that he still got videos of those teachings on his page, or ISUPK. Now we know that ISUPK pushes the vibration that the Lord is only coming to save black people, okay, alright, and they only concerned with black people. Rarely do I ever hear them teach about Latinos or Native Americans being Israelites. They might mention it once in a while, but for the main focus, they push black. Okay. Alright. What is it? HOI, the House of Israel, which that's like Zabak and them. And they so carnal, they go off of, if you look black, you're black, basically. Alright. And I always go back to GMS. So he said he watches us too. I haven't been watching GMS for a while because they more focus on Nate, which the elders are right to do. That's their business. I'm more here to learn the word. Okay. And he said he don't agree with the topic that they trying to save the white man, which is all right. Now I'll say this. I said GOCC, IUIC, which is Israel United in Christ, which is Nate and his crew. ISUPK, that's General Johann and his crew, and the House of Israel, Zabak and his crew, also known as We Got Next, are all going off on different parts of their doctrine, which is true. That is your problem. You listen to too many people so that you fit what you want to believe in and not deal with other parts because it cuts you. So you take from every group what you like, even from GMS, and come up with your own thing, which is going off. Okay? And that's what he's doing. Okay? Like I said, GOCC teach that these people of them islands, the original people, are Israelites, which they're Japhetic. Okay? Then, like I said, you got ISUPK pushing the black thing. You got the House of Israel, they all on appearance, what you look like, okay, proving that you have to be Israelite because both parents have to be Israelite, or you have to look like the archetype of whatever particular tribe you come from. Okay. Alright. So let me get this. Alright, this is 2 Timothy's 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2. It says, preach the word, be instant in season and out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine. Alright, which we in that time, because the evidence is that now you got all these guys coming up with these new doctrines. Alright? And you get these cast outs, okay, these people that get pushed out of GMS, they start pushing new doctrines talking about all the tribes are black. But when you ask them to break down each particular tribe, they can't do that. They just say they're all black. Okay, because Jacob was black. Okay, alright? Or they say the Native Americans and Latinos are not Israelites. They're heathens. And now you got this new doctrine talking about we're Japhet now. You Native Americans and Latinos, you're not Israelites, but you're Japhites. That's what these clowns are teaching. Okay, upstate Israelite, aka upstate Japhite, he's teaching that madness. And this clown right here, Waha Allah Naphtali, he's all juiced up coming up against me, alright? Because I thoroughly proved that the Native Americans and Latinos are Israelites. So his whole thing now is to call me a Mongoloid. And his reasoning to say that you are Israelite, you have to be mixed, which we don't teach that. You have to be mixed with Negro blood to be considered an Israelite. Okay. Alright. So we in a time where people are not enduring sound doctrine. Okay. That the Latinos, Native Americans, and the Negroes are the true Israelites. Alright. 2 Timothy 4:3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itchy ears. Okay. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. Okay. And that's the evidence with this guy. Okay. Alright. So his reasoning, alright, is to start stuff with me. I put the scripture down like this because I asked him about where did he get this, and he said, as regard of GOCC, brother, I won't lie, I have watched them, but I don't learn the truth from there. There's a group called Israelite Net. There's a book called The Truth by Robert Danitz. That's who I learned it from. But in all truth, I started learning from GMS videos from Elder Tahar. That was my beginning when I started to investigate through the Spirit. Get it right, Bati boy. Okay. Alright. So he's saying he started out with this book called The Truth by Robert Danitz. So I respond, I said, if you know that GOC is going off, why have their videos and teachings on your page? That looks bad. The truth is Yahushua, which you have gone away from, because he is written about in the scriptures. Alright? You have been deceived by this Robert Danitz, because he was not set up to teach the Bible like the elders. You are calling me a Bati boy when I pointed out that those Japhites wear only a penis gourd. Shaking my head, and you say that they are Israelites. Okay. Which, that's what the video was pointing out, because I know this guy, he's on Facebook, which we don't deal with Facebook, and he's talking about ISUPK is responding to this, alright, to talk shit because I said that them Japhites be wearing penis cords, which they do. And that's what I showed in that video. That's a heathenistic custom. Jake wasn't rocking no damn penis cord. Alright? And I told him to deal with the scriptures. Alright? That's your problem. You try to be too deep. And you got much pride, which have caused you to go off of who Japhet and who are Israel. He said, don't be a hypocrite. Bible is our source, history books, and the web is our confirmation. Yeah, but you have to discern, okay? Because there's truth out there, but there's also disinformation, and you have to have the ability to discern what is truth and what is false. What part of this, if it is talking about some truth, which part of this is where they go off. You can't just take it off face value. That's where a lot of guys go off, and that's where this guy has gone off. Okay. Alright, number one, he go off because he want to listen to everybody and their mama. Okay, and all the groups that I mentioned, that he mentioned he listened to outside of GMS, they're all teaching all different types of stuff. The only thing they can agree on is coming against us, alright, out of envy and strife. But they can't deal in the scriptures. Alright? So you got to be careful when you go into these books, these history books, and also on the web. Okay, because you got a lot of disinformation. This is laugh out, especially that one that states that Native American Indians that doesn't have the Negro Jake bloodline are Mongoloids. Okay, so if you're not a Jake Negro descent, prepare for captivity. You going in my cotton field, Bati boy, you better believe that no faggot will enter the kingdom of Yahweh. So I asked him, what does the word Mongoloid mean? And yes, I know it and can break it down to you if you don't know. Alright? And he goes, thank the Most High, I just figured out how to stop these alerts. Laugh out loud. Mongoloid means you are not an Israelite. Laugh out loud. Game over. Good night. That was my last comment. Laugh out loud. Can't resist to cut you. Laugh out loud. Okay? Alright, so that's his whole thing. Alright? And also his reasoning of saying that the Native Americans are of Native Americans and Latinos are of Mongoloid descent, which we're going to break that word down. He's saying that is because his reasoning of Japhet and the scriptures that's talking about Japhet and Ezekiel, okay, which Ezekiel 38 is talking about the Russians and their allies going up against America and this World War III and destroying both America and the land of Israel. That's not talking about ancient Japhet, okay? That's where he goes off. Because he said, I did a specific word search and I went here and there and I found that. Okay, so he's saying that Native Americans go back to Genghis Khan and all this shit. Alright? Okay, so let's go into these terms. Alright? First, let's go into the term genotype. Okay. Alright. Because these terms are essential to understanding what we're about to talk about. Okay. And what the Bible talk about. Genotype, from the Etymology Dictionary, says genetic construction of an individual, or your genes. Alright. It's made up of two words, gene and type. Earlier the same word was used with a sense of type, species of a genus. We're gonna break down the word genus. So let's first go to gene, or gene, spelled G-E-N-E. Which means what? Comes from the Greek genia, which means generation, race. Okay, so let's go into the word race. Alright. Well, before we go in there, let's go into genus. Okay, because they said genus. Genus. Alright. It means kind or a class of a thing. A biological sense dated from 1600s. Genus, which means race, stock, kind, family, birth, descent, origin. Okay. Alright. From the Greek word genos, meaning race, kind. Okay. Agonos, meaning birth, offspring, stock. Okay. Alright. So let's go into the word race, because it keep mentioning race. Now race, it means a people of a common descent. Okay. Race, from the French word raza, meaning race, breed, lineage, family. Okay. Tribe. Tribe, nation, or people regarding as of a common stock. Modern meaning, okay, of one of the greater divisions of mankind based on physical particularities. That's what anthropology means, which basically means the study of mankind. That's what anthropology means. But anthropology is based off of what? The modern meaning of the word race, which means one of the greater divisions of mankind based on physical particularities or the outward appearance. Okay? So the word genotype goes back to the word gene or gena, alright, which means race, which also goes back to the word genos and gonos, okay, which those are Greek words, going back to the word race, which race means what? People of, in its purest form, people of common descent. Alright, talking about lineage. Let's look that word up, lineage. Alright, as well. Lineage. Alright. Alright, lineage means descent, alright, of race, line. Well, let me get it in a regular dictionary because it's just giving me descent. Lineage from dictionary.com. Okay. It says lineal descent from an ancestor. Alright, ancestor meaning ascend, coming from the word ascend, meaning before or of top. Descent meaning down. Okay, meaning they descending from this particular ancestor or origin. A line of descendants of a particular ancestor, family, or race. Okay, so your lineage goes back to your gene. Alright, which goes into the word raza. Okay, alright, let's look at the word stock. Stock, here we go. Stock, meaning ancestry, family. Okay. Now that we have the understanding of geno, let's look up genotype in the dictionary. Genotype in dictionary.com. Okay. Alright, it says the genetic makeup of an organism or group of organisms with reference to a single trait, set of traits, entire complex of traits. The sum total of genus transmitted from parent to offspring. It should say transmitted from father to offspring. All right. Okay. Because your father has the gene, okay, or the seed. Because the word Raza goes back to seed. Okay. Look it up just in case. Raza. Okay. People of common descent. Alright. From Middle French meaning race. Race, breed, lineage, family. Alright. Talking about root. Alright, look up seed. Alright, so that's what it means. It's talking about your origins, which goes back to your father because he carries the genotype. Now, phenotype. Alright, phenotype means what? The observable consequences, a condition, of an organism. The appearance of an organism resulting from the interaction of the genotype and the environment. Okay, now in people, okay, alright, the gene will be what? The father's seed, the sperm, right? Okay, the phenotype is what? The appearance of the organism, alright, resulting from the interaction of the genotype and the environment. What would be the environment? Alright, in this case, the mother or her womb. Okay, meaning what? The child's appearance or outward appearance of the child will be affected by the particular looks of the woman. Okay, but the lineage, because we broke down gene, alright, the lineage, race, stock, breed, alright, will come from the father. Okay, so the mother just affects the outward appearance of the child. Okay, alright, so let's get that in the scriptures. Okay, break this down. Alright, let's go to, because the Bible deals with genotype, not phenotype. Alright, let's go to 1 Corinthians 11 verse 8. It says, "For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man." Okay, because the man has the ability what? To generate both male and female, because he carries both the XY chromosome. Okay, alright. So we get 2 Maccabees. Second Maccabees chapter 7 verse 21 through 23. Alright, now this is the story about the woman, the mother, and her 7 sons. Okay, now listen what she said, because the scriptures say the man is not of the woman. Alright, this is 2 Maccabees chapter 7 verse 21. It says, "Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirred up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach. She said unto them, I cannot tell how ye came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you." Okay, but doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generations of man, okay, and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again, as ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake. Okay, but she stated that she wasn't the giver of breath of life, nor the form of the members of them children. Okay? It was the Heavenly Father. And that He's the one that produces the generation of men. Okay? And when you look up the root of that word is Jenna. Okay? Going back to gene or the genotype. Okay? So 1 Corinthians 11:8. For the man is not of the woman, which we just proved, but the woman of the man. Okay? Alright? That's Leviticus, proof of that. Leviticus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel. Alright? And when you look up that word children, is sons. Okay? Because that word would not be children. In the Hebrew, it would be bunyim. And bun means son, and yum means plural. So speak unto the sons of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed. Now the word conceive means to take seed into the womb to become pregnant. Alright, the word seed in the Hebrew is zarai, alright, which means semen. Okay, it's talking about semen. Alright, which men have semen. Okay. Alright, if a woman have conceived seed and born a man child. Alright. Now to further prove that it's talking about man's semen, alright, because you got clowns out there talking about women have seed. That's the only reason why I'm touching this. Okay. This is Leviticus 15:16. It says, If any man's seed of compilation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the morning. Alright? And every garment and every every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of compilation shall be washed with water and be unclean unto the evening. The woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of compilation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean unto the evening. Okay? Alright? Okay, so the man has the seed. Okay, this is 1 Corinthians 15:38. It says, But God giveth a body as it have pleased him, and to every seed, alright, sperma, because that'll be the Greek word for seed in the Greek, is sperma, where you get the word sperm from. It says, And to every seed his own body. Okay. All flesh is not the same flesh, okay? But there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. Celestial meaning heavenly bodies or spirits like angels, okay? Celestial bodies and bodies of terrestrial, of the earth, okay? Because terrestrial mean like terrain or the earth. Earthly bodies, what we have. Alright? But the glory of the celestial is one and the glory of the terrestrial is another. Okay? Alright? Go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 1 through 2. Alright? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 1. It says, I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made on the earth. Talking about Adam, okay? Not Adam and Eve. It's talking about Adam. Because he was, all people are offsprings of Adam, okay? Through who? Through one of Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, okay? Alright, it says, And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man and the pleasure that come with sleep, which is sex. Alright, Wisdom of Solomon 7:5. It says, For there is no king that had any other beginning of birth, for all men have one entrance into life, and the light going out. Okay, that's how it was established. Okay. Alright, so back to Leviticus 11, verse 2, it says, "Speak unto the sons or children of Israel," which is sons of Israel, saying, "If a woman have conceived seed," all right, so it didn't say a particular woman or a specific type of woman, it just said woman. Okay, why? Because the men generate the nations. He's the origin of the people, the nations. Okay, all right, through his seed, his he's the genotype. Okay, all right, and born a man child. Okay, then she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of separation. For her infirmities shall she be unclean. And in the 8th day the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purification 3 and 30 days. She shall touch no hollow thing, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. But if she bear a maid child, which is a woman or a female, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, and in her separation, as in her separation. And she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days. Okay. All right. So this is so back to 1 Corinthians 11:8. It says, "For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man." It's a lot. "Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man." Okay. Verse 11. "Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord." Okay. "For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of God." Okay. But the woman does not affect the genotype of the child, his genes. She affects the appearance, because she's considered the phenotype. Okay. With that said, let's go into that. Okay. Let's go into that. Alright. Let me get one more scripture. Alright. This is Numbers 1:17. It says, "And Moses and Aaron took these men which are expressed by their names, and they assembled all the congregation together on the 1st day of the 2nd month, and they declared their pedigrees according to their families." All right, let's look up the word pedigree. Pedigree. All right, from the etymology dictionary. Pedigree. A genealogical table or chart. Alright. On old manuscripts descent, which indicates by a forked sign resembling the branching lines of a genealogical chart. Alright, sign also happened to look like a bird's footprint. Meaning, here we go, meaning ancestral line. Going back to what? Your lineage. So you decree, so back to the scripture. Alright. Numbers 1:18. "And they assemble all the congregation together on the 1st day of the 2nd month, and they declare their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from the 20 years old and upward by their polls." Okay. So the Lord only dealing with the fathers, okay, which is what you also get the term patrilineal, patrilineal, not matrilineal. Matrilineal means you inherit stuff through your mother, or you consider your lineage through your mother. Okay. Patrilineal means you inherit. Your inheritance and your origin comes through your father's lineage. Okay, the Bible deals with patrilineal or genotype. Okay, not phenotype or matrilineal. Okay, so get your facts right. Okay, all right. That's breaking down those words. Now let's go into this demon. All right, wanting Johann F. Blumenbach. All right. Now, I'm gonna read it off of Wikipedia. I'm also gonna get it out of the account out of this From Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor. Okay. All right, because he make mention about this guy. On page 21, and also on page, let me get this. It's a lot. And page 53. Okay. All right. It says. In the 17th century and later, okay, Europe began to emerge out of the slough of ignorance, and certain Germans, so-called white men, Germans and others, conceived of themselves as belonging to a superior race. Okay, all right. This is when the white man start pushing that vibration that he is the superior race. And also this is where the origins of this so-called classifying the races by dividing them into five particular races based off of color. Alright? And it's fueled off of anthropology. Okay, which we got that, which is the observing of physical traits. Okay? Which we're gonna get basing off of your appearance, which will be considered what? Phenotype. Okay. How the appearance of the damn it, let me get it again. I don't want to misquote it. The definition. Alright. It says the appearance of an organism, which a person would be considered an organism, resulting from the interaction of the genotype, the seed, alright, the sperm, and the environment, okay, the womb or the woman, okay, which will affect the appearance of what? The organism, which will be the child or the person, okay. Alright. Okay, so it said, it's a lot. Alright, so it says, and certain Germans and others conceived of themselves. So this is something that they thought of. Okay, it's not based off the scriptures, it's based off of their own knowledge. Okay. Let me get that. Alright. This is a 1 Corinthians 1:19. It says, for it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudence. Right? It's like talking about these heathens. Okay. Isaiah 29:14. Isaiah 29:14, it says, therefore, behold, I will procure to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder, for the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of the prudent man shall be hid. Alright? Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he have no understanding? Alright, and that's going into them conceiving this madness, which we're going to go into it this madness that the so-called white man is the original race, and that all these dark races are considered inferior or of a degeneration of the so-called white man. That's how these other nations came about. Job 5:12, it says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, because it's wanted Johann F. Blumenbach and his devising of dividing the races into 5 categories by skin color is a so-called crafty device. So it says he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. Okay, that's right. Okay, back to 1 Corinthians 1:20. It says, where is the wise, where is the scribe, where is the disputer of this world? Have not God made the foolishness of the wisdom of this world? Or have not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. Okay. Alright. That's right. It says 1 Corinthians 1:25, but the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brother. I'm skip down to verse 27. Alright. 1 Corinthians 1:27. But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty, and the base things of the world, and the things which are despised have God chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are, that no flesh should glory in his presence. Verse 31. It says that according to as it is written, he that glorieth, let him glory in the Lord. Okay, that's right. This is 1 Corinthians 3:18. It says, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seem to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. And again, the Lord knoweth the thoughts of the wise, that they are vain. Therefore let no man glory in man, for all things are yours. That's right. Now the only reason I read that was because this guy, this Waha character, Naphtali, that character, he's using this guy's so-called understanding, Johann F. Blumenbach, alright, and his anthropologist, which he was the anthropologist and anthropology, to justify his understanding of the scriptures on the base that Native Americans and Latinos are Mongoloids and not Israelites, and that the people of the islands, the natives, which are actually Japhites, he's saying that they're Israelites because they resemble Negroes. Okay, so we'll go back to this from Babylon Timbuktu on page 21. Alright, it says certain Germans and others conceive of themselves as belonging to a superior race. Johann F. Blumenbach, a German, 1752 to 1840, was the first to divide humanity on the basis of skin color, i.e. phenotype. Up to this time, no such attempt had been made. Why is that? Because, like the scriptures, and it was common knowledge, alright, prior to the 16 or the 1700s, that prior to that time, okay, everybody knew that you determine what group of people you come from, or your stock was always based off of the patrilineal, or your fathers, not your mothers. Okay, all right, regardless on appearance. Okay, but this guy, Johann F. Blumenbach, was the first to come up with the concept, which is a craftily devised fable, okay, or a tale, all right, or false doctrine, all right, the first to divide the nations or humanity on the basis of skin color, the phenotype. Okay. Up to this time, no such attempt had been made. His classification set up a color line to determine or to determine of latter generations. That's why you got people, oh, he looks black, or he looks like this. He's got to be this or that. Okay. It says Mr. Blumenbach classified 5 chief races of mankind: the Caucasians, the Mongolian, the Ethiopian, the American Indians, and the Malayan. It says, moreover, he considered the Caucasians to be the original race. Blumenbach, the anthropologist, named the whites after the Caucasus Mountains. Thus, mountains are stationed between the Black and Caspian Seas, because he thought that the purest white people originated there. Blumenbach was a racist, and so was J. A. Gobenua. A third man by the name of H.S. Chamberlain wanted to advance the superiority of the white nomadic race and its culture. These men attribute psychology, values, and importance to races. This was racism, and it led to a horrible, vicious racial philosophy and to the persecution that's going on something else. Alright? But it led to a vicious racial philosophy. Okay? Alright? Which that philosophy is called, before we get into this guy, alright, which was the main person that fueled those 2 other guys that he mentioned. Alright, it all goes back to him. Okay? Now that philosophy is called scientific racism. Alright, scientific racism is the use of purportedly scientific techniques and hypotheses to support or justify the belief in racism, racial inferiority or racial superiority, or alternatively the practices of classifying individuals of different phenotypes into discrete races. Okay? Which is what America goes off of. Okay? Classifying individuals of different phenotypes, okay, into discrete races. Now, the word phenotype again is what? The observance, consistent construction of an organism. The appearance of an organism resulting from the interaction of the genotype and the environment. Okay, i.e. in human, dealing with the genes or the sperma of man. Okay, when he have sex with a woman, the child is going to come out resembling what? The appearance of his mother, for the most part, depending on who he deal with. Okay, if he deals within his particular stock of people, chances are the child will resemble more of that group of people. But if he goes and start dealing with another group of people, women, okay, the child will still be of that man, but the appearance will change or be affected by what? The phenotype, which will be the woman. Meaning what? The child might carry on physical traits of his mother, but his spirit, which we say spirit, is going to be that of his people, of his father. Okay? Let me get that. Proof of that. Alright? This is Genesis. So like Genesis chapter 5, verse 3, it says, "And Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness and after his image, and called his name Seth." Okay, that's right. So the child will what? Emulate, alright, that of his father. That's why we know that Israelites have a distinctive characteristics or spirit about them. When we say spirit, we're talking about mannerisms and traits, alright, that they do, alright, that separate them from these other nations. Okay, alright. Not focusing on phenotype, which classify individuals of different phenotypes in discrete races. That would be considered scientific racism. Alright. So let's go into this guy, Johann F. Blumenbach. It says was a German physician, naturalist, psychologist, and anthropologist. Okay. He was one of the first to explore the study of mankind as an aspect of natural history. His teachings is comparative anatomically were applied to classifying the classification of what he calls human races. What he calls human races, of which he determined there to be 5. Okay. Now anthropology is this. Okay, it says anthropology is the global discipline where humanities, social and natural science are forced to confront one another. Anthropology builds upon knowledge from natural science, includes the discoveries about the origin and evolution of Homo sapiens, human physical traits, human behavior, the variations among different groups of humans, how the evolutionary past of Homo sapiens have influenced its social organization and culture, and formed social sciences, including the organization of human social and cultural relations, institutions, and social conflicts, etc. Okay. Now notice it kept saying what? Evolution. Which we know evolution is complete madness, okay? Alright? But it was focusing what? Alright, on human physical traits. That's part of anthropology. So when you hear someone talking about anthropology, or who are anthropologists, they focus on what? The phenotype. Now this man, Johann F. Blumenbach, he was an anthropologist, and through his logic, his madness, his crafty device fable, okay, his false doctrine of classifying the races into five races is complete madness. Okay. Okay, let me hop straight to the point. Alright, Blumenbach's racial classification system. Blumenbach divided the human species into 5 races in 1779. Alright. He classified them in 3 races. It says the Caucasians, or white race, the Mongolian, or yellow race, the Malayan, or brown race, the Ethiopian, or black race, the American, or red race. That's why you have a so-called white man call the Native Americans red people when we're not red. And they call themselves white people when they're not white. They're actually red. They're known as the Edomites in the Bible. Alright, going back to Esau. Alright, who was the first so-called white person. Alright, really he was the first red person. Because all nations are all nations outside of Esau, alright, were people of color. Okay, different shades of brown. Alright. So what he did, he classified them all into what? 5 different races based off of skin color. Alright. It says his classification of Mongolian races included all East Asia and some Central Asians. Blumenbach excluded peoples of Southeast Asian islands and the Pacific Islanders from his definition in 1779, as he considered them to be part of the Malayan race. Okay? He considered American Indians to be part of the American indigenous people race. He did not think they were inferior to the Caucasian race and were potentially good members of society. He included the peoples of sub-Saharan Africa in the Negro or black race. Okay, Blumenbach argues that physical characteristics such as skin color, carnal profile, talking about your skull shape, etc., depending on geographically, diet, and mannerisms. Okay, which means just, your manners. Okay. Blumenbach works includes his description of 60 human cornea or skull, published originally in, I can't pronounce that word, so I'll put the links in the thing so you can look it up too. Alright, so his whole understanding is basically off of what? People's physical outer appearance, which we went into the word. It says these ideas are far less influential. His ideas were adopted by other researchers and encouraged scientific racism. Okay, so off of this man's understanding, which Esau don't have understanding of anything. All right, going to the curse of the serpent, that he'll eat up dust. Dust represent confusion. All right, he don't have the true understanding of the races. Okay, that's why he's carnal. He's dealing with carnality, talking about people's skin color, the shape of they skulls, and and where you live, what part of the world you is, your diet, mannerisms. He all that includes into his so-called understanding of these people. And this is where this clown, Wahala Naphtali, this is why he's calling the Native Americans Mongoloids, alright, which we're Israelites. Okay, his understanding is going back to the so-called white man, not the scriptures. Okay, scriptures say otherwise. Okay, and note, it didn't include the people in the Pacific Islanders as being part of the Mongolians, because those people of the Pacific Isles have what this man called Negroid features. Alright, now the word goid or oid, which is O-I-D, means resembling. Okay, so what does it mean when he's calling me or people of Native American and Latino descent Mongoloids? He's saying you resemble the Mongols, all right, which those people was of East Asia. Okay, he's talking about them people. Okay, and he's saying that the people on the islands, which wanted Johann Blumenbach didn't consider them to be Mongoloids, but of what's the term? Let me find it. Let me get this, because he used this word Negroid. Let me find it, because I asked him what was his father. All right, and he's talking about some Negro. There we go. Negroid, Australioid, or something like that. Alright, because the Negroes, alright, they try to say that the Negroids, it's a lot. The Negroes and Let me find it. The Negroes and Africans and these South. Here we go. Negroid. All right. Astroloid. Astroloid are part of what this man considered the Negroid races. Now remember the word, when you see O, the suffix OID, it means resembling. Talking about what? Their appearance. They resemble the Negroid or the Negro. They resemble the Caucasian or the so-called white man. They resemble the so-called Mongolians. Alright? Now, when you look at this chart, which they have on here, of ethnographic map, which the word ethno goes back to race. Alright? Talking about going back to genes, talking about the genotype. So ethnos or ethno is talking about ethnicity or ethnic group, which is not based on the phenotype. It's based on your father's, because he has the genes or the seed or the semen. Alright? Because he's the father. Okay? Alright? Now it's broken down. This man, they really classify it really into three main groups. They think it's three superior groups. You had the Mongoloid race, the Caucasoid race, and the Negroid race. Alright, and under the Negroid race, you got the African Negro, the Hottentot, the Melanesians, which that's who I covered in my last lesson when I talk about them Japhites. They look like Negroes, which the word Negro just means black. Going to the Latin word Niger, or the Spanish or Portuguese word negro, which just means Negro, which just means black. Okay. And then it has the Australoid people, because I asked him, so he said he's a Negro Australoid. So let me get that. Alright. The Australoid race is a broad racial classification. The concept originated from a typographic method of racial classification. They were described as having dark skin with wavy hair, and in the class of the Vedoloid race from Sri Lanka and other parts of South Asia, including the Veda people of Sri Lanka, the Aborigines of Australia, or the hair ranging from straight to kinky. In the case of the Papua, the Milenia, and the Niroto group. Oh man. According to the model of classification, the Australoid people range throughout Indonesia, Malaysia, Australia, New Guinea, Melanesia, and the Man Islands, the Indian subcontinent, and possibly Japan. The middle 20th century, a suggestion emerged that the Australoid were linked to the Proto-Caucasoids. It is out of Africa theory. The ancestors of the Australoid or the Proto-Australoid are thought to have been the first branch off of the Petrocapatroid to migrate from Africa about 60,000 BC. Migrating along the now submerged continent surf of the northern shores of Indian Ocean and reaching Australia about 50,000 BC. Which all that is complete, utter bullshit. Okay? Basically, it's saying what? That those people that inhabited basically the Pacific Isles look like Negroes. They look like Negroid people, resemble Negroes. Like I said in my last video. Okay? But that doesn't mean they are the same people. Just like under the classification of Mongoloid, they have what? Chinese, Indo-Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, Tibetans, Malay, Polynesians, Maori, Eskimos, Americans, North Mongol. They saying these people resemble the Mongols, or they resemble this, because the suffix OID means resembling. So when this asshole, yeah, I'm gonna use that term, this asshole talking about I'm a Mongoloid and I'm not an Israelite, and that all the 12 tribes are black, what is he saying? He's saying, according to his knowledge off of anthropology, which is basically the study of physical traits of the people, alright, focusing on the phenotype, which anthropologist, Johann F. Blumenbach, alright, which is the father of this madness, teaching that the human race is divided into 5 color groups, alright, and because this simple ass dude thinking that all the 12 tribes are black, he's going to include African Negroid, okay, Negro, the people of Australia, the Negro, all that. He's going to include all of them because they resemble the Negro. But let's get this. This is Ecclesiasticus out of the Apocrypha, chapter 33, verse 10. It says, all men are from the ground. The ground represents different shades of brown. And Adam was created of earth. And much knowledge the Lord have divided them, and made their ways diverse. Okay? He made their ways diverse. That doesn't mean just because you resemble or you look like a particular group of people doesn't mean you are of those particular group of people. Okay? And your understanding of the scriptures, as well as your understanding of who the tribes are and which people group are which, is off. Okay? Is off. Alright? So in closing, alright, it's like if it was long and drawn out, but you have to go into these words. You have to go to the root of these words. You got to break these words down. Alright? You got to understand where these people are coming from and where they base their knowledge off of. And to show that they are going off. Okay? Just because, and that's another thing, man, for you simple ass niggas out there, okay, don't get bedazzled when niggas start using big ass words, okay? Alright? And you ask them what those words mean, and they can't break it down, because you know why? Because they're full of shit, okay? And they don't do no real studying, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about, okay? Just because you look like a so-called Negro don't mean you're an Israelite, okay? Alright? It's determined by the seed, which is the genotype, alright? And you have to be of so-called Negro, Latino, Native American descent on your father's side. Alright? Those are the Israelites. Okay? Alright? And they've been scattered all throughout the world. Okay? Alright? So, I'm going to say this. If Waha Allah is an Israelite, okay? Because like I said, you got Israelites in the islands of the South Seas. Alright? Okay, alright. If you are an Israelite, you need to really, really humble your ass down and get the proper understanding of the scriptures, as well as your understand where you pulling your so-called information from. Because like I said, it can be what? Considered what? Disinformation. Or not true. It could be full of lies. So your understanding saying that all 12 tribes are black, that's going off. And then to justify yourself, you using Johann Blumenbach madness of classifying the races into 5 colors. And under that, they include your people, them Japhites, okay, those people on the islands, those they considered Negroid people or resemble Negro, but the word Negro means black. So yeah, Esau will call you some niggas because you look black, you look like Negroes. But that doesn't mean you are children of Israel or of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? Alright? But you're going to have our people in those islands. That's the whole point. So to those that are of so-called Negro, Latino, Native American descent, alright, you are the Israelites. If you take heed to this word and you dealing with it in truth, not mingling a whole bunch of madness together, alright, because you getting cut because you find out you a Japhite. Okay? Alright? So with that, hopefully it was edifying. You know, Salak, if it's long, I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh Shemal Shai. The bonus to that was a great millstone, taught me this truth. Shalom to the Akim out there pushing the truth. Alright, shalom.